The top news story on NPR yesterday was about how everyone's sharing their healthcare nightmare stories online in honor of the CEO that's no longer with us. And it seems like that type of activity is going to trend. And this is one of the unintended consequences of giving Trump immunity, not having any consequences or punishment for Trump's actions, and re-electing him as president. Now, when I say unintended in quotes, I mean Putin probably intended it. I mean, Putin, with his 4D chess, everything involving Trump is Putin orchestrated. So Putin is probably just making things this way, or allowing things to trend this way because he wants to destroy America. And this is one way of presumably destroying America. But he's got other plans too. I mean, his deportation scheme is so expensive that would bankrupt us. And completely destroy our society in lots of different ways. His tariff schemes is the same thing, trying to bankrupt the citizens of the United States. The deportation bankrupts the government. But just all sorts of things to destroy America, of course, are Putin's goals, and Trump is his uh, main tool to make this happen. But when things start to turn around on these guys, and of course Putin could have hired that guy as much as anybody, but it seems like he's expressing a lot of hatred and ill will from the public towards billionaires, and there being no accountability. And that's really the issue, is that because the justice system is not going to be trusted to put Trump away, people aren't going to trust the justice system to put any rich and powerful criminals away. So they'll take matters into their own hands. That's where vigilantism comes from. That's the whole idea of what I called the hashtag grab 'em by the posse. When the sheriff isn't working, a posse forms. Posses don't wait for lawyers and listen to Putin captured Supreme Court justices or any of that stuff. So they've pushed things too far, and the backlash is probably going to correct a lot of stuff and fix a lot of problems in our world. Or, as I mentioned in other videos, the backlash will hopefully prompt rich and powerful people to change their ways and start doing everything they possibly can to fix every possible problem they can find in order to get a good reputation, get back on the good graces of humanity, and save humanity, turn it around. But the backlash right now, that's just beginning, um, they haven't seen anything yet. And they should be changing their behavior based on the fact that they've pushed people too far, they've pushed fascism too far, they've pushed their greed too far, and they've pushed their lies and misinformation schemes too far. So again, while Putin does control these things and probably does not mind at all if our faith in the justice system, such as it was, completely breaks down, if our law and order completely breaks down, Putin would be very happy if America went 365 purge all the time. But we're not going to do that. It's not going to take that much correcting to change our society. And some of that same type of correcting can apply to Putin himself and his other pawns throughout the world. So I call it Pillow Revolution because just talking about things can do a lot nonviolently from bed, on our phones, on our pillows, like a pillow fight, and without anybody getting any more hurt than that. We can talk our way into a better world if people will listen, if they'll allow it to happen. Otherwise, people take other actions. And that's something people should be aware of and should cause some changes, because you can't push people but so far, and they've already pushed us way too far. And people have different responses. Mine are going to be nonviolent and peaceful, and encouraging people to just share the truth about things, because there's enough power in the truth to take down all these evil systems. But some people aren't going to wait for those processes. And we're definitely not going to wait for processes that are proven not to work. So this is one way that letting Trump get away with all this stuff is going to increase people's likelihood to take matters into their own hands, because they're not going to trust the justice system. And having him be president amplifies that even more, especially when, no doubt, he's going to do a lot of things that are both against the law, against common sense, against better judgment, against the good of the public, both in America and humanity at large, against the world. And people are going to have to stop that any way they can. And thank you and good luck to you. It doesn't matter how it's done. We got to stop the evil guys in the world. But we can, again, do plenty with nonviolence and truth and just spreading information on our phones, in our beds, safely at home. So thanks for joining the Pillow Revolution. Pillow Revolution help make that happen so that we can do this with the least people getting hurt, the least problems and difficulties as possible.